It's safe to say that we have entered the season of glowing up, the season of wanting to look and feel our best physically, mentally, emotionally. And I think for many of us, summer can definitely bring up a lot more of our insecurities, whether it does have to do with physical insecurities or even the way our life is going. Summer is where we hit the half-year mark of the year, so we're kind of getting hit with the realities of life, of being like, this is what I've accomplished or not accomplished. We're in the midst of summer and I only have 6 months left, like yada, yada, yada. So in today's video, I really want to talk and discuss about the important aspects that we need to be focusing on and thinking about when it comes to our glow ups. And that first starts in our minds. It starts internally always. And when we do that inner work, it will get reflected outwards. So if you like these topics of glowing up and becoming the best versions of ourselves, getting healthy, especially this summer, then definitely stay for this video. My name is Alicia Gogan if you are new, and if you're not new, hello, how are we doing? Today's drink of choice is a Poppi, okay? And I'm not sponsored by Poppi, but this is my favorite one, the Doc Pop one. There's a few that I've tried that I don't like, but this one is my go-to drink. Now, I feel like I have some credentials to be speaking on glowing up, mainly because I've transformed so much in my life, whether it was living out my dream life, becoming a YouTuber, a podcaster, getting out of financial stress and the way my life used to be in the past when it came to toxic environments and living in a small town, but also healing from different chronic illnesses and getting healthy again and changing my appearance and feeling beautiful about myself and growing my hair out and changing my body and all of those things. But mainly, I have done so much inner work and I have healed myself so much when it comes to my relationship with myself and how I speak to myself and how I carry myself and the things that I attract in my life because of this inner work. So much so that I literally wrote a book, and if you guys are new here, then I have a book called The Ultimate Glow Up Guide. I can have it linked down below. It is my story of my first glow up when I first started when I was 16 years old and all the things that I have learned, but also the second half of the book is a guided journal as well to help you guys get to the root of your self-sabotage and self-hate and your insecurities and things like that. But we will talk about some of this in this video. So I feel like I have really deep dived into glowing up, but I just feel like for many people, and this was me when I was younger, and it is not me anymore, but for a lot of people still, they really do believe that the glow up means to change yourself physically and to buy more products or wear more makeup, or if you just get this one thing or validation from someone, then you're beautiful, then you can feel good about yourself. But that's usually just temporary validation, if anything. But what you'll also find is even if you do achieve the dream body or you do change your face or this, that, it was never really about you changing yourself, or you're gonna come to this realization of this. And I think there's like two categories here. The ones who have maybe changed their appearance, changed their face, you know, glowed up their hair, glowed up their body, glowed up their life, but they're still very unhappy and not fulfilled, or the ones who have. And I find the ones who have, there was actually something that they needed to do and change before they even got their glow up. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. I think for me, yes, I definitely am a lot different than, you know, how I used to be and how I looked. Obviously, like, I've grown and evolved and I've really flourished, but all of these things were birthed out of me really going on a healing journey. Because the thing is this, if you have really poor mental health, and this could totally not be your fault, right? I mean, I think for the most part, when we have bad mental health, it's not really our fault. You know, it's the environments we grow up in, it's hardships in life. I've definitely been there. But regardless, when you don't have good mental health, when you are stressed, when you are anxiety ridden, when you are even mad or you're sad, that is going to translate into your physiology, okay? So you're not gonna be somebody who really puts themselves out there, who wants to have conversations with people, who looks approachable, or even holds their posture up in a way that is inviting. And let me just say this, you going on a glow up journey, it doesn't need to be for other people, right? Because I feel like some people could be like, well, I don't need to be approachable all the time, or I don't need to this and that. It's not even that. It's the fact that you're experiencing a low level of energy when you are feeling depleted and stressed and angry, and it is reflecting. But regardless of what other people think about you, you're seeing this every day and you're feeling it. And there's really no way that we can feel the best about ourselves when we are feeling the weight of our emotions, the weight of our poor mental health. So I think first and foremost, before you try and go change anything or get on a health and wellness journey or whatever it is, it's like you got to go deep into what might be that heavy thing that is weighing you down in your life. And it could be many things. It could be toxic relationships. It could be the way you speak to yourself. It could be years of trauma and sadness and hardship that you haven't really worked through. And I would definitely suggest to go on a healing journey, even maybe this summer, really diving into why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Am I somebody who's always sad, always depressed, always anxious, always mad? And if that's the case, then we need to work through those emotions. We need to have a journal practice. We need to maybe go to therapy. We need to have open conversations with people. We cannot be holding this in because that's never going to make us feel good. And of course, it will translate into how we look. And I think you guys know, if you go down the street and you walk past somebody who, let's say, on paper, conventionally attractive, they look good, but you can tell their energy is off, whether it's they're mad or they're mean, or they're sad, or you could tell they're stressed. Like, it's just not the best energy. Some of the things that I have learned on my journey is doing an emotional release practice. I talk about this in my book as well, having a journal practice where when I'm feeling sad, frustrated, angry, whatever it is, I am going to my journal and I'm writing out all my feelings and I'm letting it out. Sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm even speaking to myself. Just letting things out will really, really, really transform the way you're feeling. But another thing that we really sometimes forget is so powerful is our words and how we speak to ourselves and even to others or about ourselves. And there's so many things that we say on a day-to-day basis that it's really hard for you to always police yourself. You don't want to be doing that, but really start to get more aware of how you speak to yourself and what you say to yourself. You don't have to gaslight yourself and saying I'm the prettiest girl in the world, or I'm successful, or I'm amazing. If that's not what you believe yet, or it's hard for you to say these things, but you also don't need to be voicing the worst possible things that you could say to yourself and constantly pointing things out. And for instance, if you're at the gym and you're just having a bad body image day and you don't like what you see, you don't have to keep hyper focusing on it. You can just let your body be what it is today. There's no sense in you sitting here and nitpicking things because that's not going to change anything. It's literally not. And really, you should be focusing on the fact that you're in the gym and you're moving your body, and don't worry about this right now. But I think on these types of journeys, you have to just be realistic with yourself. Not every day you're gonna feel good, and that is okay. You don't need to force yourself to love yourself all the time or boost yourself up, but something that I've really learned to not do is to just not speak poorly of yourself. It's not needed. And once you start changing your self-talk, you will see yourself come out of a shell. For instance, if you are considering going to a festival with your friends, but you are somebody who nitpicks everything and this outfit doesn't look good or this and that, you're constantly just going at yourself, you could get to a point where you just decide that you don't even go out in the world and go live your life. And you're gonna stay in this energy, you're gonna stay in this low vibration, you're gonna stay stuck and feeling like crap about yourself, all because of the self-talk. Versus if you say, you know what, it doesn't matter, maybe this is not the perfect outfit, but I don't need to be perfect, or you actually speak to yourself nicely, you know what, I do look good, and actually it doesn't matter. Whatever the case is, you change the way you speak to yourself, you will start moving through life. You will have a lighter energy. You won't be so obsessed with the fact that this is how you look right now, and you go live out in the moment, and you are going to feel and look so much more beautiful than you would if you stayed at home and didn't go to the festival. Now let's move on to the next thing that I think is always been really big for me, and that is moving my body and really just being on a wellness journey, but definitely moving my body. And now I can use the old version of myself as an example, but I can also see it in people who I even know in my day-to-day life, and it's no shade to my old self, and it's no shade to maybe the person that I'm going to be quote unquote speaking about. I'm just using this as an example, but I can see a huge correlation between, I'm just gonna say women, but men too kind of, but I'm surrounded by women. women who do not like themselves and who really, really struggle with their insecurities and this, that, and them not moving their bodies regularly, okay? And I'm not saying like a burst of like, I'm gonna go like to get skinny for summer for like 3 seconds and then falling off. I mean like genuinely being consistent and committing to taking care of their bodies and their health. And I think even for me, I used moving my body when I was younger as a means to an end. Like, I'm doing this just so I can be looking like something for summer, like a bikini body type of thing. And I'm not gonna even say that we can't do that and we can't like care about aesthetics. I am not saying that because I like a good body. I like when my body looks good. I'm not even going to argue with that. But I think we have to get real with the fact of life that there is way more to moving your body than just the aesthetics, and you need to for so many reasons. It helps your mental health, but it also does help your confidence so much more. When I am moving my body, never am I ever in a bad mood after the workout. Even if I had the worst day, okay, and I'm not in the mood for anything, I'm definitely not gonna feel like shit about myself after I've done a workout. And this could be anything, okay? I always talk about on my channel the importance of just like changing things up and living in flow. I cycle sync, which means some weeks I have lower energy than others. Today I went to the gym and it was rough. It was rough. I'm in my luteal phase. I'm not really feeling the best. I'm a very dynamic person and my energy can be all over the place, but I try and make sure I have so many different options when it comes to moving my body so that I can stay consistent, so that I don't get bored and I still get the results that I'm looking for. Now, I'm never gonna say one type of working out is better than the other, but I do think when you incorporate some sense of strength training and Pilates, like more of the weightlifting type of vibe. It doesn't need to be super crazy like you're bodybuilding like heavy in the gym. I know it can be also very intimidating for people, and I think that if you're not locked in and you're not like really on that fitness bodybuilding lifestyle, it can just be like kind of boring and you don't even want to do it. I feel like that's what's happening in my life right now. I love weight training and I know the benefits and I will do it always, but I'm not who I was in college where I was going 6 to 7 times a week and I was doing my splits and I was programming everything. Like, I just don't really care too much to do that. So something that I've been trying is this app called Ladder, which is a strength training app that gives personalized workouts from expert coaches every single day. And for anyone who doesn't know, I used to be a personal trainer, so I feel like I've tried many different apps and even YouTube workouts, which can be helpful and great, but this app I actually think is the best of the best because you can pick a program just based off of what your goals are. You can take a quiz. Are you more into strength training or more Pilates or kettlebell training, things like that? And you can also tell them whether you're gonna be working out at home or you're gonna be working out in the gym, which helps them tailor your workouts to the equipment that you have. And then you'll get a plan that is focused on progressive overload. It's not just on-demand workouts that you just click here and there. Everything is programmed for you. And you have your coach demoing everything. You have timers. You even can connect your Spotify, I think Apple as well, but I use Spotify, your Spotify to the workout. So when you're following along with your instructor, you can listen to your own music, which I think is brilliant. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, I have been really into my Pilates era, but sometimes I don't always want to go to like reformer Pilates classes. I actually want a mix of like Pilates and strength. That's like my sweet spot. And on the app, there's a coach named Maya, and she has a program called Define, and it mixes your Pilates with your strength training, and it is beautiful. I love it on the days that I do not want to go into the gym and I do not want to think and program, or I have no motivation really to do anything and I'm just not in my like strength training era really right now, but I really want the benefits of doing something like that. I think this app is perfect. They also have glute focused strength training programs. They have mobility, stretching, everything. So if you guys want to try Ladder out, they actually give a 7-day free trial with no credit card needed, and it gives you enough time to actually try a week of workouts, which is perfect. But also when you scan the QR code, which will be on the screen, or you can just click my link in the description, you will get $10 off your first month with Ladder. So if you're an at-home workout girly, or you're somebody who just needs more programming and you want something that's actually legit, then definitely check out ladder. But regardless, moving your body is going to make you feel so good. And of course, the benefits of you moving your body is you're gonna get in shape, you know, you're gonna be a healthier version of you. You moving your body as well is going to change the way that you think, not even just physically like how you look, but your endorphins and your energy system. You have to get these things going. You have to move your energy every day, even if it's nothing crazy like a workout. It could be simply just going on walks. That is something else that really has helped change my mental health and in turn made me feel so much more beautiful because I'm constantly moving and connecting with nature. All right, let's get into a conversation about comparison and jealousy and how those two things genuinely kill your confidence and kill your beauty. And it's sad because we are so beautiful in our own ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, and even our lives are so beautiful. But when we're constantly comparing it to others, whatever that is, all of a sudden it's like the ugliest thing in the world, which it's really, really not. It's just our focus constantly on everything outside of ourselves. And coming back to that example of, I know you've probably seen a really pretty girl before and you're like, wow, like she's stunning in every single way, or she has this and that, and she's not happy, she hates herself, she's the most insecure. And that happens all the time. And that happens because the inner critic, the self-talk, you know, maybe things have happened in the past, but then also it's the constant comparison and the jealousy and the games and the unhealthy environments that we can be in. So I would really go on this comparison detox. And what I mean by that is thinking about where you usually compare yourself or get jealous of other people the most. And I feel like for a lot of us, it's probably social media, but you know, maybe it's just the spaces that you move around. And I know sometimes it can be hard to like not move around friends or environment, but you really have to think, you know, some environments, they basically require you to be insecure. They require jealousy and comparison and competition. And it's really heavily focused on looks. And I'll give you just like a quick example of what I started to see in my early 20s, and I had to kind of move myself away from this because I felt like it was just feeding into insecurities and I just needed like a break from that. And that was mostly anything revolving nightlife or partying or always hanging out with guys. Like I feel like all of that, when people are so focused on living that type of lifestyle, it's like really hard for you to feel good about yourself because the whole name of the game is to go out and show out and look good and this, that. And I'm not saying that's always the case, right? Like now in my life, if I were to ever go to a club or if I go to a bar with my friend or I get a drink or like even in my relationship, like my mind is not about how good can I look or this, that. It's different. But when I was younger, sometimes definitely those situations did not help. And I find like the places that I move around or the things that I do with my friends are not requiring me to look a certain way. When I'm going to my Pilates classes with my girlfriends, or we're going to the movies, or we're getting coffee and we're talking about our careers or our healthy relationships, or I don't know, like whatever it is, that doesn't require me to be changing myself or to be super hot and pretty and this, that. And again, I'm not saying that I don't care about these things, that my friends don't, or that we don't want to go out and get a nice picture, or we don't want to like look good, but it's not the entirety of our focus. But I feel like some places that you move in, it's just the name of the game. It's the focus. And the same thing can be definitely true with social media. Is it always that? No. When I look at my social media, it's really not that, even when I'm posting, but also like the things that I'm consuming. But for sure, when I was younger, it was me just following girls who were only posting because it was very clear that they wanted the validation. And I did the same thing as well. Or it was really all about looks. It was just all about the body. It was all about the face. It was all about this, that. And I think that it just doesn't help sometimes. So maybe just taking a look at where you're moving or what you're consuming and take a break from it. Also just taking a break from the focus on other people's beauty or what other people are doing and their successes is just not helpful. We weren't even made to constantly be looking at all these beautiful people and all these edited photos, by the way, or everyone's highlight reels or their beautiful lives. So just take a break from some of these things. If it is triggering you, it's okay. Now I found a Pinterest quote that I really liked, and it says, "You have to actively push jealous thoughts out of your mind. Actively celebrate when good things happen to other people. Actively choose to not compare yourself. Actively decide that someone else's success doesn't mean you're a failure. She goes on to say, of course, I am included in that you. I choose to push those thoughts out of my mind because I refuse to walk around in bitterness, because that bitterness will make me miss out on appreciating the life that I have. And girl, I really just loved everything that she said, because for one, like when I'm speaking about this too, it's me as well. Like I have to do this as well. I actively just push away these ridiculous insecurities because they're based out of fear, not love, for one. You know, when we're being like, oh, I'm not good enough, or, you know, you have those jealous thoughts where you're maybe even being bitter or you're not celebrating people. Like, let's understand that if we're not wanting to celebrate or if we feel really inferior, it's definitely coming from a place within us, but we don't have to be that person. We can cheer people on. We can see people's success and say, you know what? That means I can do it as well. And maybe I'm not there right now, but you know what? I'm gonna clap for this girl over here, because realistically, that girl is going to be me. And you need to be clapping for yourself. Right now, you should be clapping for yourself, but also if you are going to look up to somebody, because it's natural, we're gonna compare naturally, you wanna do it in a way of you being like, wow, this is me. And that's really how you should look at it. When you see somebody have something that you want, a life, a healthy relationship, a beautiful body, just health, you know, wellness, whatever it is, you should be aspiring to be that person. You shouldn't be selling yourself short and being like, oh, well, yeah, well, it's easy for them, or just blatantly telling yourself, no, it could never be you. That's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous, and you're wasting your life away by doing that. I promise you, I have been there, and it doesn't do anything for you. And the way you are actually going to become that person, if you want it to be that person, is by first accepting where you're at and loving yourself through that process, and supporting and uplifting those people and using them as inspiration instead of looking at them with bitter eyes and not supporting or just hating or whatever it is. Like, just do not be that person for yourself. And now I want to say one more thing. Of course, someone else's grass is going to look so green and so vibrant and so amazing and so full when you are not watering yours. But when you start watering yours, you start speaking to yourself kindly, you start accepting yourself for where you're at in your life, you start moving your body and taking care of yourself, you will see the contrast, but it won't be like, oh my gosh, it's so good over here and it's so shit over here. Of course, it feels like shit when you are not moving your body, you're not taking care of yourself, you're in toxic environments, you're caring only about looks, you aren't caring about your health and wellness, you're dating the wrong people, you're speaking to yourself poorly. Of course, everyone else's grass is going to look greener. So bring your attention back to yourself and your own grass. It is the only thing that you should be worrying about anyway, and you will start to feel better about yourself, and when that happens, you will start to glow. Now, the last thing I want to touch on, and I've been kind of speaking about it throughout this video, but it's really understanding that your glow up really does start the moment you start accepting yourself right now. And I can actually give you an example of my natural hair journey. So I have very natural curly hair. I've had it all my life because I'm mixed, and throughout my childhood into my teens, high school mainly, I didn't like my curls. I wanted my hair to be straight, especially if you lived in a town where you were literally the only colored person, and that was me. I grew up in a small town called Barrie. It's not that small anymore, but it was when I was living there. And so I always wanted to straighten my hair, and I did. I straightened my hair all the time. I relaxed my roots, I relaxed my hair, and I flat ironed my hair. I wore extensions, this, that. But it got to a point where it was really hard to keep up, and my hair was dying. My hair did not look good. And I got to a point where I started going on a glow up journey. I started caring more about my health and all of these things. And I kind of moved away from the vanities of myself so much. Not that I was never taking care of myself, but I just realized this is not the most important thing. It is how I look is not the most important thing, and I want to take care of my health and wellness, mental health, and things like that. So I started to realize that the way that I was taking care of my hair just wasn't in alignment with who I was trying to be. But at the end of the day, I still really struggled with being okay, well, I'm gonna go on this natural hair journey, because I really, in the core of my belief system, I thought that I wasn't good enough, and my hair was ugly, and it wasn't nice, and curly hair is not good. Like all of those limiting, really shitty beliefs that I was living with. And in turn, because I was feeling like that about myself, my hair was not thriving. My hair was not good. You know why? Because I was still resisting it. I wasn't taking care of it. I wasn't going on a journey of learning how to actually take care of my natural hair. I was putting it off. I wasn't watering it like a plant. And in turn, I didn't have the natural hair that I'd always see all the other girls have. Instead, I was dreaming about all the other girls and their hair, and it looks so nice, and my hair's not like that. All I was focused on was that, instead of coming to this realization that, for one, my hair is curly, okay? We need to accept that. And we also need to accept the fact that, yeah, I didn't take care of my hair, which means I'm probably gonna have to go on this journey. And you know what? I'm probably gonna go through a period of time where I don't really necessarily love the way that my hair looks, but that is okay because I am watering it and I'm taking care of it. And when I started accepting myself for where I was at in that journey, then my hair started growing because I started to act and move like somebody who loved themselves and somebody who liked to take care of their hair and liked to take care of their body and their mind and their wellness, like all of those things. And those habits, of course, allowed my hair to grow. But my hair was never going to grow from me criticizing it, from me hating it, from me being frustrated with it, especially when it comes to natural hair. Like that takes a lot of time and effort. And the same thing can be true with when you're going to the gym. If you're constantly berating yourself and you're so mad about the fact that your body looks like this and whatever, and you're not accepting it, you're gonna get to a point where you're not gonna go anymore. You're not gonna take care of yourself because you keep talking to yourself like that. Your body and your actual actions are going to follow the lead of your mind, of what you're telling yourself. So if you're saying, the gym is working, I'm getting healthy every single day, I look great, I can do this, all positive things, you're going to get up and you're gonna keep going. And is it going to be easy every single time? No. Are there gonna be days where you wanna, yes, obviously, but at the end of the day, it will change the way you show up for yourself. And of course, when you take consistent action with anything, with your hair, with your wellness, with, moving yourself out of toxic environment, getting your money up, paying off your debt, doing these habits consistently, you are going to see progress. But first, you have to be loving to yourself. You have to be accepting of yourself. You can't be moving through life in constant resistance of yourself and expect to be this glowed up version of yourself. And you also cannot waste your time wishing you were somebody else. This is who you are right now, and it doesn't mean that you can't change, whether it's anything physical or mental, emotional, whatever it is. And now I know there is some things that we cannot change about ourselves, but you know what? You can learn to love them. You can start getting it reflected to you, whether it's on social media or in real life when it comes to maybe some of your features. Stop being around people who are actually speaking nasty words about body images or, you need to look like this or that. Those aren't your people anyways, because why would they be your people if they are not accepting something about you in that way? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think that I hear the argument of, well, what if I can't change this or that? It's like, well, what are you feeding your mind? Well, first, you're feeding your mind with the belief that you're not good enough with what you have, but also you probably are around environments where maybe, it's not uplifted and it's not the norm, and I get it. It's not like easy. Like, there's so many beauty standards online and even offline. I remember when I was younger in school, I did not think that I was pretty because I didn't look like really anyone. But was it true that I wasn't pretty, or was it just true that I was in an environment where majority of people did not look like me, and that was just the representation that was there? And there was a lot of people who had a certain preference, and I'm not going to even dive into whether that's right or wrong, but all I am saying is just because my environment is not accepting me does not mean I am going to not accept myself. And that is what I want you to bring with yourself. If you find that you're in any environment or you're around people right now where it's a little bit hard to get out, maybe you're in school or you have friend groups or whatever, you feel like you're out of place in this, that, just understand that maybe you're just in an environment right now where it isn't reflected to you the beauty that you are right now, and that's okay. But just focus on pouring into yourself and rejecting people, places, and things who make you feel insecure about those things or tear you down or say that, you shouldn't be looking like this or whatever the case is. But also, it's okay that you think that people are pretty or people are more successful than you, whatever it is, that's fine. I definitely go out, and I'm actually, who I'm thinking about right now is Sierra from Summer House. That girl is so drop dead beautiful, okay? And I know that I don't look like her, but that's totally fine that I don't look like her. I'm not telling myself I need to look like her, or I'm wrong because I don't look like her, or that I don't deserve love because I don't look like her. But I can hold space for someone so beautiful while still relishing in the fact that I am uniquely for myself and my own world. So there was a lot I said in this video, but I really just want to emphasize this idea that you absolutely can change your physical appearance or want to look good. Like, that obviously makes us feel so much better, but you're really only going to be able to bask in you doing your makeup a certain way, or you doing your hair and like getting ready and going out with your girls or your boyfriend or this, that, or even relishing in your successes in life or just being more happy if you are working on your internal system. How are you speaking to yourself on a daily basis? How is your mental health? Are you moving your body? Are you moving that stuck energy? It's going to make you feel better. And that of course can lead into the things that you're putting into your body, but also to really just protect your peace by doing a little bit of a detox, a little bit of an audit. Are you consuming or are you being around people, places, and things that do not serve you anymore when it comes to the way that you feel about yourself? And it's okay if you can't handle being around these environments right now. I feel like when I was younger, I moved myself away from these things like, you know, clubbing and, you know, everyone needs to look hot all the time, or hanging out with a bunch of guys, or caring so much about dating and this, that. And I focused on my own life, you know, finances, career, having conversations with friends that had nothing to do with like, how hot are we going to look for these guys or this, that. And when I started feeling better about myself, I can go back into those environments and I feel so much different. I don't feel like I am the ugliest person in the room just because somebody is walking in that looks so pretty. I no longer look at people who are beautiful or more successful than me or whatever it is, or if they have something that I don't have, as if they are winning and I am losing, and I don't wish to be somebody that I'm not. But that's because I'm pouring into myself. I am taking care of myself. I do feel like I definitely had a glow up from, you know, some of the past versions of myself. But again, it really all started with me accepting the things that I couldn't change, but also accepting the things that I really needed to work on, and that was totally fine, and I really did flourish. So if you are currently on a glow up journey, give yourself time. Do not rush the process. A glow up journey is going to be a lifelong thing. You will learn that in my book, but you probably might have even learned that now, or you probably just know that and need to be reminded. Do not wait until Monday. Do not wait until next summer. Do not wait until X, Y, and Z for you to be perfect, for you to have the perfect body, the looks, this, that, before you go out and live your life and do the things that you are meant to do. Do not date because you think you're not good enough, this, that. Push yourself to go out in the world and have it reflect to you that you are worthy now. And anyone who is telling you that you're not, or you're feeling like you're not, remove yourself, remove them, whatever it is, even for the moment, and do what you need to do. Please let me know what you enjoyed and or what you want to see next when it comes to this topic or anything to do with health and wellness. And if you are new, I do have a podcast channel, which is on my second channel, the Glow Up Secrets podcast. We talk more about deep healing work on that podcast essentially. And I do have it on Spotify and Apple as well. You can also follow me on Instagram. I feel like I do my best to just be very motivational when it comes to healthy living. So if you want some motivation with that and you want to see my dog, Theo, he's sleeping right now, so I'm not gonna get him up, you guys know. It's a lot, but if you want to follow me, you can. And if you don't, and if you just can't, and you even think that my life is too aesthetic or too whatever and it's triggering you, totally fine, girl. Sometimes you need to just like take a break from people's lives. Truly, I feel the exact same way, and that is all I do. I just remove it. I'm not gonna look at it right now. It's too much of an overload. But coming back to that quote of like, I am really going to not be bitter, and I'm not going to not cheer people on and this, that. Just think about that person being you, okay? Cheer yourself on. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.